Hey Arizona, just because weed is legal now doesn't mean your criminal record is clear. You need to visit azexpunge.org today. The Reclaim Your Future campaign can expunge your record for free. Go to azexpunge.org now. Hey Arizona, just because weed is legal now doesn't mean your criminal record is clear. You need to visit azexpunge.org today. The Reclaim Your Future campaign can expunge your record for free. Go to azexpunge.org now. Hey, Arizona. Just because weed is legal now doesn't mean your criminal record is clear. You need to visit azexpunge.org today. The Reclaim Your Future campaign can expunge your record for free. Go to azexpunge.org now. Hey Arizona, just because weed is legal now doesn't mean your criminal record is clear. You need to visit azexpunge.org today. The Reclaim Your Future campaign can expunge your record for free. Go to azexpunge.org now. Hey Arizona, just because weed is legal now doesn't mean your criminal record is clear. You need to visit azexpunge.org today. The Reclaim Your Future campaign can expunge your record for free. Go to azexpunge.org now.
Disclaimer. This video, like all videos featured on this channel, is definitely intended for mature audiences. This video is likely to contain profane language. Content is inappropriate for minors. Video is not for kids.
Welcome to the Dr. Greenthumb Show. Lord of mercy. How's it going?
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Dr. Greenthumb Show live on YouTube, Twitch, Discord, and the home site, www.brealtv. I'm Dr. Greenthumb. Hello. We have a special guest in the house today with us, Cannabis Cutie, a.k.a. Tammy, up in the building.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here with us.
Yeah.
We also have Psycho Leezy in the building.
Salute.
Tonight,
Everybody on the chat out there.
splashing them today, man. Gotta tell you.
Hit them with the massacre.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, that's
Good looks.
word up. The Treehouse Crew, Bolton Blombo, Bra, and the Dominator.
Yo,
What's
what up, B? We up here just bicking it.
Being boo?
Always.
I
Unlike
understand.
Psycho Leezy today.
Oh,
Ah.
yeah, well, you know.
Shots fired.
He gets a pass.
He don't count.
We have on third base, we got Trace Nunes in the building.
That I like to think of as a cannabis cutie also. Come on, yeah, a little some here, huh?
Oh,
I see it.
you think you're cute? All right.
Cannabis, handsome gentleman.
Thank you, Les. Thank you.
You just drink that Coke over there.
Cheers.
Yeah, inhale that.
Sit
Coke.
there and look pretty then.
Trying to put this Coke deal together, guys. You're not helping.
Yeah, you're a Coke dealer, I know. We got the Brosha in the building, a.k.a. Sandal.
What up, my peeps? What up? Good to see everybody this week.
What it do?
You know it.
First off, thanks for being here with us, Tammy.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for having me.
And, you know, I know that you just started a show with Exhibit just recently,
Mhm.
and a lot of the premise is to educate people on cannabis.
Right.
Because that's something that you've taken a passion
Yeah.
on doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I love teaching about the plant. I, for a long time, knew it was improving my life. I just didn't have any proof. And then once I found out the science, it was game over.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to start making videos on social media because I can't find this information anywhere and everybody needs to know. And it kind of worked out. And now I'm sitting here with you.
It's
so,
the each one teach one.
yeah.
Instead, you know, that for so many years, only so many people held the information,
Right,
And
right.
you didn't have the internet that you can go do your own diligence and find out information about cannabis, you know, as it relates to whether you're looking at it for medicinal purpose or economic or anything, industrial, whatever. And now the information's readily available.
Right.
But not everybody always goes to it. It takes someone to actually be out there, you know, running the flag up and being the bullhorn
Mm-hmm.
for the culture and for the industry
Mm-hmm.
and for the plant.
Right.
And it's cool that you do that because, you know,
Yeah, I love her. She's so good to us.
She's
She
very
feels
good to us.
amazing. And I think people just kind of underestimate the power of the plant. And then the information is out there, but it's so high level. And the orators of the past are gone. The Jack Harris are gone.
Yeah.
The Dennis Perones are gone. So we needed another voice that could connect to people in a real way without talking to them about really big science words
right.
that kind of just cause their eyes to roll back into their head. So I wanted to be that, and then also on a social justice tip.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, sometimes the conversations used to go over the heads of people because, you know, they didn't speak in the language that,
right?
you know, some of us could understand.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as it got out there, more people started to like, I would say, gravitate to cannabis, whether they were just supporting it or they were trying it, right? And I think that's because people stopped talking at each other and started talking to each other, at least as it related in the cannabis world.
Right.
And it opened a lot of people up when they found out it could help them medicinally, I think.
Yeah, and when they find out their body makes weed, it's just like
the receptors and all that.
What? Yeah.
Was that the biggest thing that blew your mind?
I think that was one of the biggest things that blew my mind. Yeah, and then being able to communicate that to people, and finally, you know, why that runner's high smells like you know, feels like you just hit the joint is because you did kind of just hit the joint. So that was really fun, and the people deserve to know this. We've been taught. I mean, the commercials of my time and my era of what your brain was like on drugs was mind blowing. And then in the background, the government files a patent for cannabinoids as a neuroprotectant. So you're telling me it's messing up my brain, but on the other hand, you're trying to monetize off of the fact that it protects the brain.
That it's good for your brain.
Yeah.
Fried eggs.
Right. And then so now my generation's like, what else did you lie about?
Everything.
Exactly. Except crack. They were right.
Yeah, they were right about that. For sure. But they knew that what they were doing with that, and they made money off the American people with that, as they put it in all these neighborhoods.
Criminalize people for possessing a plant.
Yeah, when you think about the stories like that the real Rick Ross has, and White Boy Rick and guys like that, and Meech, and guys that had these different connections where they could not have normally gotten them.
Yeah.
To the type of product that they got. I mean, yeah, and they all told their stories. You know, well, Meech hasn't yet, but like Rick, for instance, he told everybody he was getting his from the CIA, and
that good shit,
the pure, because they needed money. You know, politicians needed that backdoor money that Congress and the Senate would not give them.
Well, I mean, and also criminalizing, you know, arresting people for drugs. Police were getting like paid per head.
Yeah.
That's how they incentivized cops to go after people who were doing drugs. Because at first cops were like, I'm not going after anybody who's doing drugs. I'm going after the people that are creating harm. And then they gamified it essentially. And and then the CIA gets involved because every time we knock down chattel slavery and Jim Crow, they're like, we got to replace it with something. They replaced it with mass incarceration. And there's no coincidence that those numbers are the same. There's no coincidence that there are black men in this country who have not voted. Neither did their grandfather, their father, their grandfather, because
some of them never will.
Yeah, literacy tests, poll taxes, like all kind of things that have barred them. There's no coincidence. And now we can do it because you're a criminal and not because you're black or brown. So it's like so devious, but it worked. And now you get in trouble for some weed, and for the rest of your life, you're a second-class citizen, and they can legally discriminate against you, and there's nothing you could do about it. You shouldn't have had that weed on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the excuse after, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't have had that weed on you.
Right. So the CIA is in on it. Yeah, absolutely.
From day one.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably started with the weed, and then it got, you know, to the more profitable shit like coke and meth and the rest. And
that's all very well documented.
Very well documented.
Yeah. During Reagan's presidency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The say no to drugs.
Yes.
We remember that.
Yeah.
They, you know, crazy times. And now, you know, we're living in slightly crazier times if you think about it.
Yeah. But I mean, if you look at the history, you and Cypress Hill, you guys played such a big part in helping turn that perception around.
In terms of cannabis.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was very taboo in the time that we came out. And there was other artists that had referenced it in hip hop slightly. Mostly the jazz artists in the 40s.
20s.
In the 20s and from the 20s to the 40s, right? And then the reggae artists start, you know, talking about it as well. I mean, I don't know when. Maybe it's on day one at the birth of reggae music. I don't know, but those were the two genres really championing cannabis in their, you know, in their low key way. Well, actually, you know, with reggae, it's kind of high key.
Yeah, reggae was explicit. They were creative.
Yeah. Whereas,
Vipers and muggles. That was the name for weed, muggles, which
Yeah.
is a Harry Potter term.
yeah, and with jazz, they were creating slang terms.
Yeah.
For
Mary
it.
Warner.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite ones.
yeah, and now hip hop got the cannabis. Well, it's had it on its back for a while
Yeah.
now,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that with hip hop sort of putting the cannabis culture on the back,
Mm-hmm.
it sort of gave it a bigger platform because hip hop was,
Absolutely.
as much as the genre was hated on and dismissed and called a fad and all those things, right, that we know they said in the beginning. I mean, it's one of the most powerful platforms. So
Yeah.
to be talking about legalization like other groups or just celebrating cannabis to any degree, it gave it this it removed that thing where it's like it's the gateway and all the misinformation that had ever been told to our parents and our grandparents. We were snuffing that out through some of these songs. But for us, it's we came in contact with good people that had great information about it, like Jack, like Ed Rosenthal, like Steve Bloom, and Dennis Perron.
Yeah.
All educators of us, and for having conversations with them, it was about pushing forth some of this knowledge they instilled to us.
Yeah.
And
I
so
mean,
that's basically what you're doing now.
I mean, yeah, you guys are lyrical activism. I'm just kind of being a vessel for the information.
We need vessels
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
day.
Bring
it.
What was your first cannabis experience?
Gosh, I went to undergrad at Oklahoma State, and I was an all-star student in high school, and I got a 0.8 GPA my freshman year. And then the kid on my floor that smelled like a pound, stayed high, like that we judged, was the only one that made the honor roll.
Wow.
So for me, I was like, oh, the DARE program lied. So I finally, when I came back the following semester, I decided I would try it. And when I tell you, like, I felt so much better. I could sleep better. I enjoyed food. My anxiety went down.
Right.
I was happy to be alive. I noticed flowers and trees. It was like a portal opened within me.
It slowed it down for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I also realized that I had a lot of things that I needed to heal within myself that I never noticed before. So it was like an awakening, a spiritual awakening, because I had a very negative perception of the world at that time. And so for me, I was willing to talk to anybody who would listen, and I never shut up about it. And then when I went to graduate school, I was actually in an NFL MBA program. It was working around the NFL schedule so that people who are within the organization can get their degree without missing out on the season, because the season starts in August.
Right.
So I was helping a lot of these former players or current players. They have headaches, they have anxiety, aggression. So I was educating them, and then I was doing all of my projects over cannabis that I could and educating my tenured professors at University of Miami. So for me, once I graduated, I was like, all right, I know I want to be in this industry. Let me learn more. Couldn't find more. So I just decided to teach. But it all began with getting on academic probation
Right.
my freshman year of college.
Oh, man.
For me to be open-minded to smoking the plant. Yeah.
Right on. Were you going to say something, Trace?
Well, I was going to take it one step further with the podcast with Exhibit. My question was, like, is this like, how did that happen? And then also, is this like a first platform for you that you kind of have, I'll use the term, your own little network? Is that?
So Exhibit just hit me up and said, hey, I have an idea. Let's hop on a call with my agents. And we talked about it, we screen tested, and we had natural chemistry. So we went for it, and it's been working. So that's how that worked out. And it's not my first one. I did the GGN, Snoop Dogg's podcast. So I do some weed education.
He wants you to be his weed mentor, yeah?
Yeah, like just kind of educating people. Like he's like, I know people need to know this, but he's like, I'm not the one to communicate all this science.
He's the one to celebrate.
Yeah.
I kind of look at you as like a new generation, and pardon if it insults you, but you're an influencer now.
Right.
And it's kind of like what you were talking about with B and Cypress Hill and their generation, Sendog as well, that they were probably not at the time really understanding what an influencer, that word hadn't really been thrown around.
Well, that wasn't created yet.
Exactly. So now it's kind of like you're kind of on the trenches now on the front line with that.
Yeah.
Do you still ever run into like, stereotypical type pothead references and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, even as loud and proud and educating that I am, I still carry shame in certain areas. Like my kids, their school, the other moms, I don't want people to know. So I do run into that because I've had reactions where people are like, oh, and just, silent judging, and it doesn't feel good. Especially, I don't want people to make my children feel like pariahs because their mom is in the weed industry,
right,
or I'm doing this. And I absolutely don't want my kids' teachers looking at some of my content and seeing what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, it can be crazy. I mean, because I don't know if you get this, but when my daughter was going to school, now she's we do the homeschool stuff, but as we were getting there, her some of the other students that she's friends with, their parents would come tell her, but hey, do you know that your father does A, B, and C? And you could even look it up on YouTube. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if I had never talked about no cannabis or anything like that, it would be about the music, but because of that. But, I've educated my daughter. My wife and I make sure we're, that she knows the difference, right? But I know that probably some of her friends' parents wouldn't allow them to come to the house thinking that it's probably a den of smoke every minute.
Edibles everywhere.
Yeah.
Sleep over at B's house tonight. They have that weekended bird.
You're not going to the freezes.
Would you mind when your daughter gets older that she smokes weed?
If she chooses to.
Yeah. I mean, my son smokes.
Yeah, my son smokes occasionally. Yeah. If my daughter decides later on in life that she wants to, I mean, who am I to say no?
Yeah, exactly.
I know what it does.
I was that kid once too, like, sneaking behind my mom's back,
Yeah, well, there's not much you could do to stop a kid once he puts his mind to something.
Exactly.
And with us guys, it was like that because we had good parents, but we were always on the street. So the weed was available.
They can't be with us every minute.
Can't be with us every minute, yeah.
I remember the first time my son walked in the crib and he smelled like a fresh blunt that they just smoked. I was like, how was that weed? And he looked at me like, he started laughing. I was like, yeah.
Man.
What you think about blunts?
Blunts?
Or paper?
I like hemp blunts.
Okay.
I have asthma, and sometimes papers make my asthma feel terrible.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
So hemp blunts?
Hemp, yeah. If it's 100% hemp, 100% cannabis, I don't have any irritation. And cannabis is a bronchodilator, so it's going to open the airways. It's actually really good for people with asthma. Yeah.
But no blunts.
No tobacco,
Good.
no.
Good.
Like a Dutch Master or
No.
Philly.
That's definitely going to make my asthma be upset.
Yeah, I would imagine if you had asthma, you don't want to do blunts.
Yeah.
I would imagine, though, that some people challenge themselves. Like, I'm going to smoke this no matter what.
Godspeed,
yeah.
Good luck with that.
But you pushing it to the limit.
Them backwoods and stuff.
Woo.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the backwoods is like tree bark for me. I tell Exhibit that every time. Why are you rolling weed with that tree bark right there?
Right.
Son? He's, that's my homie. So, we'd be talking a lot of crap to each other, especially about weed. I try to convert him many times into, smoking papers or the hemp wrap, whatever.
Yeah.
But man, some guys just don't want to leave that backwoods alone.
And I really don't get it because, nowadays the weed is so tasty. Like, why wouldn't you want to taste these different phenolics of this weed instead of that, like,
I think it's addicting.
I think it's
it's
tobacco.
Yeah.
So there isn't,
Oh, I can't lie. Back in the day, I was on them Swisher Sweets bad.
Oh, man, me too. The green ones. That's how I learned how to smoke blunts.
Hey, listen, we used to smoke blunts like crazy. We did a High Times Center page thing with how to roll blunts. You know what I mean? So it was a thing for me. But, I've said this many times on this show that it started affecting me as we're doing, live shows because we're smoking before the show, and it didn't help that we were drinking whiskey now and then before and after. But like I noticed it when I was smoking blunts, it would just do that harsh damage to my throat, and it would affect my voice, and I'd be raspy, and it just was not the same, right? And I started coughing up that
brown shit.
that brown stuff out the lungs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that tripped me out too. So when I looked at those two things, I said, well, okay, these ain't gonna be good for me. This ain't gonna be good for me in the long run, doing any kind of blunt leaf at all, right? So I eliminated the blunt leaf and just went back to papers.
Okay.
It wasn't that tough for me because I never liked tobacco.
Okay. Have you ever tried a hemp blunt that you liked?
Yeah.
Okay,
I definitely get down with hemp blunts, but
Okay.
like blunt wraps.
Yeah.
Like I let go of those a
Me
long
too.
time ago.
I did my Swisher phase, and that's why I like hemp blunts. They're reminiscent. But once I read Jack Harer's book, and I learned how tobacco grows and that it grows radioactive material, so it's going to make you sick. And so I was kind of like, I think I'm good, and I left it alone. So I was mind blown, by the way. Jack Harer's book is amazing.
Emperor
if you haven't read it, yeah.
Emperor Wears No Clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like one of our educational reads into
Yeah.
the cannabis universe, and it opened our eyes. And then getting to hang out with them and
Yeah.
learning from him direct.
That's
and,
amazing.
Yeah, he was a very cool dude. I think them naming a strain I remember when they had the Jack Herrera Awards and stuff like that.
Yeah, the big cup.
That was dope to tribute him like that.
Yeah.
I think they should make him a new strain though that's suitable for this day and age, because the one they have for him now just
Too citrusy.
Time has passed it
time has passed. There
Yeah.
needs to be a
Right.
new thing.
for sure. A 2.0.
And that's no
Yeah.
disrespect
Not at
to
all.
people producing, that what has been the traditional Jack Herrera strain, but there needs to be a flip on it.
Right.
Yeah.
He would insist.
You know him. I believe you.
Yes. Because he was a connoisseur too. He was an educator, but he was also a connoisseur.
Mm-hmm.
He knew some of the best farmers in the world.
Yeah.
So, why not have a few different Jack Herrera strains is all I'm saying.
Yeah. He deserves it.
Yeah, he does. He does. Rest in peace, Jack Herrera.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have not read that book, you should read it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very educational book.
Mm-hmm.
Open your eyes to a lot of things. I think that was the thing about, when we were talking to, like, the information that we were putting out was based off of his book. So on our Black Sunday album, which is the 30-year anniversary this year, we were putting out in some of the artwork on the inside art, right?
Yeah.
The 10 top facts in his book. And they were all based off of that. And he saw that and quickly embraced us and decided he was going to educate us on even more than what he wrote in the book.
Wow.
And that was the awesome part of that.
That's brilliant.
Getting to chill with Jack.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was a good moment. When you get with people like that are willing to teach you and not just, it's not just for all show.
No.
It's like to actually hear, let me teach you something because I know you're going to be one to be teaching others.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Right.
That's dope to have him mentor you because he saw it and then you guys actually did it.
Who do you feel was your mentor?
Gosh, I just kind of decided to learn from all the legends. I studied them, I researched them. Alice O'Leary Randall, her book was incredible about Rob Randall, who was able to get glaucoma medicine, cannabis as his glaucoma medicine. So the federal government was dispensing him weed.
Yeah.
And it was a prescription. So that was kind of another thing. So I mostly just kind of watched people, but I always ran alone, solo. I kind of would just show up places, and I'm a cannabis educator. And in 2017, nobody knew what that meant. I didn't even know what that meant. I just knew that I was doing that.
There was a story about Louis Armstrong that he was getting weed early on because this is what he wanted to use as medicine.
Yes.
Like he didn't want to take any of the available medicines in his time.
Right.
And he wanted cannabis.
Right.
And I think they even quoted him on something. He said, "I'd give up my gun, before I give up cannabis, like that type of thing. Because back then it's about having your guns.
For
you know what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah,
Even today it's about having your guns. But he was like, cannabis is more important to me than anything else.
Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Used to get busy.
But I mean, when you think about Louis Armstrong in his time, it's like way back.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
They called it reefer
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
You have to wonder, like
He had been an advocate for ages, but nobody really.
who was
Made a
growing
big
it back then? Like, I mean, was it like their production back
backyard.
then?
There's
You know
a-
where they were getting their weed from? There's this white boy, the Mighty Mez. He was
Yeah.
supplying them.
There's
the
al-
reefer man.
Down in the
there's
South?
always a white boy.
Yeah, it
somewhere.
was in Harlem first, but yeah, he was their plug, Mighty
Wow.
Mesro. Yeah,
Interesting.
I've heard of that name before. I've heard it
Yeah.
spoken in conversation.
yeah, that's where they were getting it. He was getting them that gauge. They had so many names for it.
Yeah.
So many names.
Sounds like
But,
a name for a bar now. The guy's
Yeah.
name. Interesting.
Mighty Mez, probably.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a legend.
he's got to be right.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah, there's a lot of cannabis legends out there, and you'll start hearing about them as soon as they get documented. Like there's got to be a history book.
Because those dudes were way ahead of
Oh,
their
yeah.
for
curve.
the
Way
cannabis
ahead.
legends.
No, there's a really good book. You guys are in the book.
Which book is that?
It is called Smoke Signals by
Okay.
Martin A. Lee.
I'm gonna have to go get smoke signals.
It
I
is-
create them every day, so
Yeah.
it's only appropriate that I go read it.
Martin's amazing. The book it's over 400 pages. It's so in depth and it looks at so many historical periods, socially, politically, historically, scientifically. It's so fun. And we talk about how, hip hop in the 90s really kind of helped turn a corner in a major way. And it starts with Cypress Hill really being the loudest. And then, of course, a young rapper that Dr. Dre just brings on named Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
And yeah, we kind of learned the story through that book. So I've taught about it a few times in my cannabis book club.
Yeah, I mean it was great to have Snoop Dogg follow up with Dre, and then Redman come in
Yeah.
and start talking that shit too, because realistically, it wasn't meant for any one group to be about the movement. It was better that we all talked about it, because I think it made it okay for people. Like, well, Redman's talking about it, Snoop's talking about it, Cypress been talking about it. Maybe this weed shit ain't so bad. And I think it took away the stigma, because we were very much a functioning group to this day, like all the stereotypes that came with being a pothead or, cannabis activist, weed smoker, whatever. It's that you were a lazy bum and you didn't have it. You couldn't do anything.
Right.
And we kept just smashing through those stereotypes. And so did Snoop.
Yep.
So did Red. And then after them, everybody else that came after that wave. You know what I mean? We're showing and proving that what you thought cannabis users were, that's some bad information.
Absolutely.
I think Cheech and Chong had a lot to do with the
Yeah.
influence
Oh,
on hip hop.
absolutely.
on hip hop,
Definitely.
like
How many times do you think they were referenced in a hip hop song?
a lot.
Mad times.
I know I said it a few times. I know you guys.
Oh yeah.
But like, to me, I was a fan of Cheech and Chong. And then when Cypress came out, you guys was like the Cheech and Chong of hip hop. So it was like everybody jumped on that. Like, what? It's fire.
I felt like, when that popped off, I didn't know how people were going to receive that. I mean, I don't think any of us knew, because realistically, all through the run, from when we first popped off and then we start gaining momentum and making a name for ourselves, we're selling records and all that, and we're selling tickets and merch, and we're killing it in all three platforms, right? But what we are not getting are the other opportunities that other groups that weren't as big as us were getting, like outside of hip hop and things like that, because we were the weed heads, that we could maybe disrupt a set or, not be professional or not show up or not do the work. Yet we kept you know, like I said, smashing through the stereotypes, but because we were related to cannabis, we didn't get a lot of the other opportunities that some of the other artists got. And that's okay because those things are meant to happen. We just kept pushing on. And now you see that cannabis isn't looked at in this negative light. I mean, there's still some that need to be converted and eventually will. But it's not looked at as this, the way that it was the gateway drug.
Yeah.
Right? People are gateway.
And not to talk politics, but I think there's a changing of the guard that's taking place as well, where a lot of the older regime, you know, I use the term sometimes like our grandparents' mentality that was still in place, in power. So I think that there's a changing of that guard. And as that starts to get filtered out, a new educated, you know, I'll use the term regime comes into office, the laws get changed. And I kind of see that happening now. Definitely like in states like in the South, which is known as the Bourbon Belt. You know, the last thing they wanted was, you know, marijuana legal down there when they're trying to sell Jack Daniels and Seagrams. So that whole thing that started with legislature and people with the liquor companies, the tobacco companies, that's starting to fade now. And you're almost starting to see a reversal now.
And you know what else you're starting to see is seniors going and buying weed.
Definitely.
At these expenses.
Definitely.
It is the craziest thing to me.
Yeah.
When you expect to see young people and people our age, right? But then you go in there and you see people up in their 60s and 70s and a little bit, you know, older than that. And they're either buying a gummy or they're buying an edible or they're buying actual flour or a tincture or something.
Yeah, grandma used to go in there with her sciatica problem and they'd just give her pain pills.
They're not afraid of it anymore.
Now, you know, she can go down and get her little gummy and, you know.
Yeah, well, also this was the generation that was coming up in the 70s. Like, they were smoking weed.
Right?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
They're retired.
Yes.
They're not doing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not afraid of it because
Yeah.
they know they grew up with it.
Yeah.
They're looking at us like, you young bastards. You
Yeah.
got it so easy.
Yeah.
You got it so easy.
The
Do you
same
know what
thing-
I had to do
The
for a
same thing we
living?
say to the younger generation. Do you know what we had to do?
You know what I used to have to do to get weed?
Yep.
Oh, man.
It was dangerous, you know, sometimes back in the day to just go get a little sack or whatever. You might get busted or, you know, whatever. But nowadays, you just go walk in there and I told young kids all the time, like, this is easy, you know.
And you know it's clean. Sometimes you get, you know, some of the homies' weed down the street. Sometimes those guys, you know, yeah, they'll do a great job on it, and other guys, they're rushing their shit out so they can go make money.
All moldy.
Yeah.
Well, we had back in the days we had some weed on the block that smelled like a lighter fluid or kerosene or something.
What?
And I guess the way they would bring it in was hide it in the kerosene.
Well, that's your brother told that story, and that's why he doesn't smoke weed, because he got traumatized.
That weed messed him up.
Yeah, like he ended up smoking some of that weed. He thought, man, this smells weird, but you know, he thought that was just the herb, right? So he smoked it. He like felt like
That's just, like you said, that's how they smuggled it in.
And then and then he finds out later that they smuggled it in through the fucking gas tank.
Oh
my God. So that was fumes that he smoked.
I mean, in New York, sometimes we would smoke some weed and it'll taste like perfume because they'll spray it up with like so the dogs don't smell it. We used to call it Willie Cologne.
Thank God those days are over.
Willie Cologne, that's that
Now
Willie Cologne shit.
You can get it delivered now.
Yeah, thank God those days are over that you don't got to depend on some shit like that, because it's like, man, when you think about how much garbage was put out to people.
Yeah.
And now you got options. You can go to a dispensary, get that low grade, mid grade, and supreme grade, and anything else.
It's so parallel like the liquor business, how during Prohibition it was outlawed and what people had to go through to get a drink. And then you had to wonder if it was, you know, good or bad. People would go blind from bad liquor. And here, you know what I mean? The parallels are just unbelievable of the taxation of the prohibition of alcohol and cannabis.
Yeah, but prohibition for alcohol lasted a year.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
They reversed course quickly.
What's taking so long here?
Yeah, here we've kind of proven it time and time again, but I mean, it all comes down to like power and money. There's such a hidden history that we don't talk about that hemp and cannabis played in the world. Sometimes it was a currency. It was the root of wars sometimes, because hemp was like such a huge domestic product that was, being cut off from certain countries. Like there's such a history around this plant, and it's just constantly being demonized, and all it wants to do is clean the earth and help balance our bodies truly. Yeah. That's it.
Well, when you think about the corporations that like develop these things that could be made with, hemp.
Biodegradable hemp.
Yeah, biodegradable hemp, that's the threat.
It's a huge threat.
And so they would always lobby against. And, when you have that kind of money and you own these lobbyists that are in the ears of these politicians and in the pockets of these politicians, because some of that money goes to the politicians. Hey, we need to keep this kind of in the back.
Yeah.
Because if this is going to affect our bottom line, if it gets out to the masses. Now it's a flip, though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of politicians are investing in cannabis.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they do it on, they do it on the low, so it doesn't affect whatever relationships or votes they might get. But yeah, they're all invested in it.
Which it used to be Philip Morris, Seagram's company, those investments. So now it is a changing of the guard that's taking place in a positive way. So the glass is half full.
Yeah, I say give it back to the people that kept it alive.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Give it back to them. They've been pushed out. And then, why didn't these companies come in and invest in those people? Why not? Why not sign these legacy growers like they're athletes? You just blew $10 million and didn't come out with anything great. You could have signed him for $10 million and you could have had the best product on the market. Exactly. So I just don't understand that thinking. Corporate greed truly blows my mind here. I don't think we're ever going to be able to turn cannabis into what alcohol is because of how much money is required to make this little plant and the taxation and what the packaging has to be. Like, alcohol doesn't have to be childproof packaging. Yeah. Like, you don't have to do all these extra taxes on top of everything.
On top of that, you don't have to change the packaging from state to state. That also happens with cannabis, where it looks one way here in California, but because of whatever guidelines and regulations in Florida, it can't look the same as our bag.
Right, because interstate commerce is illegal for cannabis, which is another issue. So I think they're trying to figure it out, but once they figure out it's just a plant and you can't pimp out tomatoes like this either, I think it'll make more sense from a business strategy standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I think as we get more folks that are educated about cannabis into these spots that make a difference in terms of like the way that the cannabis industry operates. Like, that's the thing, all these cities and all these states that legalized or decriminalized, right? They didn't go get with some of the most credible people to help them navigate the industry. Like, okay, help us understand how this works. They assumed that they understood how it worked.
Right.
And they failed so many times.
Yeah.
And then now, they have to make up for the failures by taxing us.
Turning to death, literally, for some companies, yeah.
And, I just think they need people that are educated in the cannabis world, in those committees, as opposed to just these politicians that want to get that money from it. They think it's automatic money. And anybody that knows that operates in the cannabis field, it's not automatic.
You're not making money. Not at first.
Not right now. Not with this taxation, and not at first, for sure. Not at first.
Yeah. I mean, you be as a business owner with your dispensaries in California, the price of doing business. It's a cliche argument, but the price of doing business in California is no joke. People go to dispensaries, they see the price of an eighth of flour, and it's, oh my God, they think that somebody somehow, like, Be Real is making 95% of that. But when you break it down in the taxation, cost of doing business with employees, every insurance and all this, those profit margins are super small.
Yeah.
It becomes more of a volume issue, not so much a larger margin issue.
And that excise tax that just came up for a lot of brands and dispensaries and operators, man, that's gonna be significant for a lot of people.
And
some people might go out of business
and
or
how
claim
it's helped-
bankruptcy behind it.
How it's helped California be, you had the conversation, that surplus of cash that was here a while ago with the state of California, directly from the cannabis.
Yeah, they don't admit that, but yeah, the surplus that we have is from cannabis.
Right. Where do you think it's from? I mean,
There's no really other jobs that came up all of a sudden in California. People were leaving California, like production crews from Hollywood and things like that. Hollywood was going to other places, right? Because it's too expensive to make a film or a TV show here. So they'll go off to Montana or somewhere else like that, right? Where else? What other industry brought that kind of money here?
Right.
I mean, it's not just sports. Sports is sports.
I mean, the tech world generates a lot of money, but that's kind of continuous. That's kind of a level thing. Nothing new came out of it where that blew up somehow. No.
But what they made in tax revenue off of cannabis was significant.
Yes.
And that's where that surplus comes from. And that's that.
Yeah.
Bring those taxes down.
Please.
Newsom or whoever the new governor is going to be when this guy tries to run for president or whatever that. Oh, no. Hey, did you know in 1941, on this day, Maurice White from Earth, Wind, and Fire was born? Happy birthday and rest in peace.
Legendary.
Maurice White. Yes, legend. Yes, indeed. And did you know, in 1969, on this day, Mick Jagger was fined 200 pounds for illegal possession of marijuana.
I don't do drugs.
Yeah.
The Rolling Stone is getting stoned and rolling.
I wonder if he still gets stoned.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, 200 pounds? What you doing with that?
I don't know. I don't know too many people that like we came up with, right? For me, from maybe 13, 14, and the rest of our friends, I don't know one of us that has stopped smoking from that time to now. So, like, yeah, I totally believe he still smokes right now.
And
that's what's keeping him young.
I think you misunderstood. He didn't get caught with 200 pounds.
Okay.
He got fined 200 pounds.
Yeah.
No, he had some weed.
Yeah, he had some weed.
I don't know if he had 200 pounds. Hey, but how about
Okay.
Paul McCartney got caught in Japan with a couple pounds of weed, though. They banned him from going to Japan for years. He just was able to go back maybe 10, 15 years ago, but like,
he's lucky he didn't go to jail for that.
well, it's Paul McCartney.
Right.
They don't really want to put him in jail, but they're going to slap his hand. He had to pay a big fine.
It was like a couple pounds of weed.
2 pounds of weed.
Oh,
Wow.
Damn, Paul was
That's a
smoking.
lot,
Paul's
yeah.
a smoker, so, you know.
I thought it was more than that, but
I still believe, no, it's not more than that.
no, I believe you. I had heard other places it was, people exaggerate stuff.
People exaggerate all day, but I believe it was 2 pounds of weed that he took on tour with him in Japan, and they found it. Boom. Got him.
It was half a pound,
It was half a pound.
219 grams.
See how it goes? You heard much more.
I heard way much more.
I always heard 2 pounds, and he's saying it's a half a pound.
Okay.
Let's go in the middle. Let's say it's 1 pound. How about that? He says she.
We'll call it that.
We'll call it that.
Call it a pound of weed.
Did you know in 1975, Casual of Hieroglyphics was born on this day? Happy birthday, mine. Salute to Casual
Yeah. Man.
and the Hieroglyphics, man. Classic hip hop right there. Did you know in 1979, Elvis Presley's physician, George Nikolopoulos, I guess that's how you would say it,
Yeah.
was charged with illegally prescribing 12,000 pills for almost 2 years before the death of Elvis. Even though he was acquitted for this case, he was charged in 1980 and 92, and ultimately lost his license in 95.
Yeah.
He's out of here. He gave Elvis all the pills, son.
He dragged that case out for a while.
Actually, he gave it to the colonel, and the colonel gave him to Elvis. Right? Is that how the story goes?
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, just take these.
He was another one of those like quack doctors like Michael Jackson had, you know what I mean? He had one client, you know, that kind of doctor.
They get paid to prescribe you drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
A drug dealer.
Any kind of pill you needed, the king had.
Bring it.
Did you know? On this day in 2000, Snoop Dogg dropped The Last Meal, his 5th studio album. Salute to the bro. That's the last meal. That's the last meal.
Excellent.
Yeah, man. He be working. He stays on game. Although he does take time to rock his Madden tournaments amongst him and his peeps. You know what I'm saying?
He gets hot. You ever see him?
Oh yeah, no, he takes that.
Hot.
He takes that shit ultra serious.
He will start talking shit. Like
back in the day, there was this hip hop gaming league, right? And a couple of games were NBA Live and Madden, and Snoop Dogg was involved, and he was playing against, I think, Nick V from the Baker Boys, and Nick was undefeated this whole time, and they went back and forth, and the shit that Snoop was talking was crazy. That was entertaining enough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have just watched that. Just show me their reactions to each other. I don't need to see the game.
that could almost be a reality show. Get hip hop players to go against each other and do a reality show.
I think they did something like that on YouTube,
Or
but
TikTok too.
yeah,
Did they?
yeah. But I mean, I think stuff like that in the pandemic was easier because everybody's schedule was free as.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think now that everybody's like up and running and doing, you know, it's hard to schedule something like that,
Right.
unless you are like deeply into video games like that. Like, if you're like one of them, you play every day without fail, then you would make time for that. For me, I couldn't. Back in the day, yeah, because I was consistent. I was like deeply into gaming. But these days, I don't know if I could commit to a schedule like that. Or we're going to play at this time on these nights, X amount days a week. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, no, that's a big commitment. You're right.
Yeah, it's a lot. But hey, if they did it, I'd watch it. Why not?
Put it on like MTV, like take an hour of ridiculousness off because that's on like 24 hours.
Why is it on 23 hours of the day?
I don't get it.
It
It's the ridiculous network now,
Yeah.
right?
They film so goddamn many. You like
whatever deal that guy put together with MTV, man, that
Like
guy
the-
should be teaching classes.
Right.
because
Do they have to show every episode like 1,000 times?
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Man, look, if you haven't taken that time to smash that like, please go ahead and do so now. Subscribe, share it out, do all the things, crack the all notification bell, and, get down with all the content we drop here. It's the Dr. Greenthumb Show. Later on, we're giving away this hire. All right, so stay to the end of the show. You got a hashtag BREALTV in the super chat. G-Pen hire, because you unlocked that yesterday. All right, y'all unlocked that. We ain't even asking y'all today just because we're going to give you a break on that. But just stay to the end and take your chances. See if you can win the hire. Yeah, man. Before we... No, man, I'm kind of early on this. We were talking... Let me ask you this, because we talk about this a lot. Do you do SHO or RSO at all, or is it just like smoking flower and?
Oh no,
edibles?
I have a few Puffcos. I have like the Puffco that I keep at home. I have the pipe Puffco, and then I have the new vaporizer pen Puffco. So definitely like.
So you like the Puffcos?
Yeah, I have a dab rig. I'm just clumsy. I break things, bangers, rigs. They're too expensive.
Yeah.
So the Puffco can kind of take some hits and still survive. So.
Yeah, Puffcos are definitely sturdy enough.
Yeah.
And they're compact.
Yeah. Yeah, I have bag. I can throw it in my bag and it's fine.
What about edibles?
I love-hate relationship with edibles. I prefer not to get into edibles too much. I'm a flower girl, and I like breaking down my flower and rolling a blunt and smoking a blunt. But edibles, there's a time and a place, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
An airplane is not a time and a place for
Oh,
any show.
do tell. Do tell.
Oh man, I had a rough time
Oh,
on the flight back from Europe. Bobo leans over my seat and he says, "You want one?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure," because it looked like 100 milli, right? A little 100 mil of SHO, which is another version of RSO, right?
Okay.
Slightly a little bit more intense, and I took it. And for the first hour and 40 minutes, I was cool. I was watching this movie, and then I felt it come on at the end of the movie. It like pressed me. I was like, oh, I'm putting all my stuff away so that I don't forget it, because we're on the plane, right? I'm putting away my passport, the cables, my phone, and I'm putting it tucking it away in that one section, right? And then it just boom hits me like. It's like I hit the wall. I was like, okay, it's time to lean back, and I'm gonna just try to go to sleep and sleep this off, right? Because that's what I would normally do at the crib. Once it hits, because we do this, the RSO and the SHO, right, in gel caps.
Okay.
Not in the syringes where you normally see them.
Okay, yeah, I don't mess with that.
And they take longer to come on, but when they come on, they hit pretty heavy, right? And I hadn't done any in like maybe a month. That's the important thing to know. When you build tolerance, you could take 100 milligrams or 150 and you'll be cool. But on this occasion, I was not cool, man. After that hour 42, it hit me so hard, bro. I was like meditating in my seat. I when I closed my eyes, I was spinning this way, and then the plane banked this way. So like I'm spinning this way, now the plane's banking this way. Oh man, I thought I was gonna just
my favorite
Earl all over the place. But I got my seat back to upright, and I was just looking at a black screen for about an hour and a half before
And my favorite part of the story is that the flight attendant walked up and gave him water, and he didn't ask for it.
I didn't even ask for it, because I was right there breathing, like I was like seriously meditating. I had to take my sweater off and the whole shit because I got hot, right? And I guess the flight
think you
attendant,
need this.
Yeah, here, sir. She brings me this water. Unless Bobo told her, maybe he heard me meditating or something. Hey, can you bring my friend some water? He took two.
So, do you not see the common denominator, the name that keeps popping up here?
Yeah.
Bobo.
Thank you.
Yes. So I would be questioned any time before a flight that he had something to give me. I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't trust Bobo anymore.
He did it to us with the mushrooms 2 nights before. Wiped out the entire crew. 10 people.
Well, I don't know if everybody was wiped out, but they were definitely on one.
We were all on one. Yeah.
What were you going to say, Sen?
At what time, how long did it take to taper off till you were like, oh, all right?
An hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
An hour and a half, the sort of like this went away and I got comfortable and then it was cool. But that first hour 30
was a bum rush.
Was a bum rush, dog. It was like, I swear to God, it was the worst experience that I've had on a flight. Even we've done mushrooms on a flight, and that was more pleasant, you know?
I mean, what's the best thing to do when you're feeling like that crazy? Like,
you got to stay up, keep your eyes focused on something, and breathe. Drink water.
You have to breathe. Yeah. That's important.
I was getting dehydrated just sitting there, because I mean, it's like you smoked like 10 joints in one shot. It's like if you smoked a half a pound of weed, like in one shot by yourself.
Basically, buckle up and hold on.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. I was like, man, I can't wait. I had to keep telling myself. I kept like reinforcing positive shit in my head. Like, this ain't shit.
You have to talk to yourself. I got accidentally OD'd on Super Bowl Sunday. And I was very sad because I was making football content and I really wanted to watch the game. And the first half was amazing. And then I asked a stupid question, which I would never ask. And then I was like, oh, shit. And then I asked the girls, like, how much did you give me? She's like, I don't know. my best friend checked the bottle and he was like, "Hey friend, there's 300 milligrams missing from this bottle."
Oh.
And I was like, "Uh-oh."
That's where it went. Uh-oh. You knew where it
My
went.
My tolerance is around 30. I don't like to go past 50.
Yeah.
And
you were devastated.
I didn't get to see the second half.
Oh, yeah.
I was hurt. I was mad.
Yeah, like I was devastated. I was like, this was not 100 milligrams.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I thought because, you know, I was doing them with frequency that my body would remember. Nah, my body was like, no.
You made a good point, though, with the RSO and the SHO, is that if you don't take it for a couple of weeks, it's kind of starting back at zero again.
Starting back at zero. Absolutely. Cali Blaze popped off 3 before he
Right
left,
here.
Right here.
Like they were vitamins.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Like
and he had to go to a meeting.
I wonder about.
I'd have to have a diaper on. You know what I'm saying?
I really wonder about some people's endocannabinoid systems, the receptors that like communicate with these products. Like, I wonder, do some people just not have a lot so they can take a lot? And then some of us have a whole bunch and are super like, I know people
Probably.
that do 2.5 milligrams and they are spinning.
Yeah, everybody reacts different, but I think it's about building your tolerance though. Like if you start off with your first edible, you're usually wrecked because you eat more than you're supposed to.
Always.
And then the second time you eat what they told you because you recognized what happened to you last time. And then as you do that, you're building up, you know, your tolerance, and then you could get down with edibles and it gives you the high you want.
Yeah.
It doesn't really phase you like it may have that first time.
Yeah, you got to find your number. That's the most, and stick with that.
And it's the same thing with taking the gel caps of the RSO or the SHO. Like if you take a significant amount for your first time, you are going to be devastated. But, you know, if you if you do it little by little, gradually, like that's the way I started when you were giving them to me. I started gradual. I was taking a little bit, feeling it, like, okay, I could take more than this. And then going a little bit higher, and then feeling that a little bit more. And then one day by accident, because this is why I used the gel caps, I had the syringe, and the syringe was kind of sticky. So I pushed a little too hard, and boom, I took the whole syringe. Now, it was RSO, so it wasn't it was RSO, so it wasn't as intense as like the SHO. Like I felt high, like really high, but it wasn't like that wasn't the one that had me on the floor. The one that had me on the floor was the gel cap. That 1,000 milli gel cap that I was too bold at the time. Laid me out.
Yeah.
Anything above that.
But I'll tell you what, even that felt better than the airplane at the 100. I swear to God, B.
Yeah, anything over 500 milligrams, you're like, that's a big overhand right.
You're playing with fire.
Yeah.
And speaking of fire, Motalada is Blaze Mota's ready-to-drink cannabis-infused michelada made with non-alcoholic Mexican lager, tomato, lime, and spices. No mix needed. They did it for you. 20 milligrams of THC per 16-ounce can and 50 milligrams of THC in the new Chichelada. Salute to Richard Cheech Marin.
El Maestro.
It's Michi time, all right? Blaze Mota is a line of cannabis products celebrating the proud traditions of Chicano culture that have shaped our great city of Los Angeles. Blaze Mota es hecho en Los Angeles for the world to enjoy.
That's insane.
And now we check this out.
Hey, how's it going? This is Michelle from Dr. Greenthumb's LAX, located at 5494 West Sentinel Avenue, just 10 minutes from the airport. If you're ever looking for some flour, pre-rolls, tinctures, edibles, whatever you're looking for, we've got. We're open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, so if you're ever in the area, come check us out. Now back to you guys at the studio.
Word up. Thank you very much. Check out our Dr. Greenthumb locations. We'll pop the address off at the end of the show. Remember, stay to the end, y'all, because we're giving away this G-Pen higher to the subscribers only. All right, you got to be a subscriber of BREALTV, YouTube, and hashtag BREALTV. All right. So with that, let's get into submissions.
Submissions, 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 submissions.
Big shout out to Snacks.
Take skills for this, you know. That'd be nice.
I don't know. I think the beat was a little off there today against Psycho Leezy.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he makes beats.
I was just messing.
That's that swing. It got the swing, so it's a little off.
Yes.
We got our boy Dean Jones up in here saying the wifey made some homemade bread for us and the family.
Homemade bread, all right.
He's saying I can only have a little bit due to carbs.
Yeah, nah. You don't want to, devastate the whole loaf yourself, man. That would not be conducive.
Wonder what kind of bread that is.
White.
Look like the good kind. With some butter up on it.
Oh, yeah.
Said dog would take half that loaf down back in the day.
Right
easily.
And wash it down with a quart of beer.
Hot. If it was hot too, when it's hot, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's fresh out the oven, man. Forget it.
Excellent.
And let's see, next up in here, we got Mick. He's having a little wiener sausage with mashed potatoes and sauerkraut.
It's very Euro.
Right.
Very Euro of you, man.
Sauerkraut's pretty good.
That's for you guys from Minnesota.
That crowd's nasty.
Skinny wieners, yo.
I can't do it.
No.
This I can't do.
No.
No.
No. Pass.
Pass.
But hey, do you? You know what I mean? Just because
Yeah.
I can't doesn't mean you can't.
It don't
Yeah.
even look tasty.
If you like it, I love it.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, how about this? We got one happy mama, little homemade cookies and fudge for our holiday parties.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
I can understand this totally.
Munchies.
The only thing that'd be better is like if that was sitting right here in the middle of this table.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's
Must agree. Yeah.
yeah, cookies.
It looks so good.
Look at that, man.
Bring it.
Yes, bring it.
Then we also got Positive J. He's saying made a Chicago-style thin crust pizza using Kenji Lopez's recipe from YouTube. Came out really good.
That looks good. I like a thin crust better myself, too.
Pepperoni needs a little crispier.
Yeah, it needs to be a little crispy.
Little crispy.
Little raw.
Yeah, little too. Yeah.
What if it's ham?
Little round hams.
Yeah. I don't know.
But that's the thing with like when I make pizza. Like, how do you get the pepperoni crispy without making the pizza burn? Like,
Broil it?
yeah, like
Pre-cook them a little bit.
Pre-cook, yeah, maybe.
Pre-cook them, yeah.
What threw me off there is he said a Chicago thin style.
That threw me too.
Yeah, that's kind of rare. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't rarely see it
Right.
thin style in Chicago. It's usually that deep dish.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like a pie.
Yeah.
In the last food submission, we got Positive J saying my first tamales. They came out decent and tasted great.
All right.
Yeah.
He's saying need to learn how to make refried beans from scratch. I cannot stand the canned ones.
Yeah. Nah. Refried beans in the can? Nah. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Bomb.
I'm sure you're going to get it. You could find recipes on YouTube, mine. They got everything here, practically.
Soak your beans overnight, though.
Mhm.
That's the secret.
Yeah. And you're going to have to use lard.
Yeah.
Hard ass.
We got
And for refried beans, you got to put chorizo in there, too.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep.
We got McLovin up in here saying I finally received my Haunted Hill VIP package in the mail last Monday.
There it
you
is.
can clearly see everyone's autograph. And he's saying DJ Lord's autograph is a little hard to read.
Yeah, we've heard that before.
Yeah, Bobo jumped off my train and jumped onto Lord's train because, like, you can't really, like, yeah. It's like a little.
Hello.
I couldn't even begin to know what that said if I didn't know he wrote it. That's all right, though. Yeah.
Wow, look at the E and the A in that.
Kiss my ass.
Well pronounced. Wow, that right there is that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Send dog. Let me see send dogs. Let's see what.
Bring it.
That was the fast send dog.
That is a
signature,
fast send dog.
That's low.
Because the usual one is, more like a placazo.
Yeah.
Probably one of those days I was annoyed with Trace.
That's almost every day, though.
Hey, you don't even know on tour. So those posters right there, every day they had meet and greets. So at about 50 to 100 posters to sign today. And I had to come up, I had to come up with a lie every day, basically, to get them to sign. And oh man, Sendog loves signing posters, boy.
It's not just that. It's because I had a hard time finding my sleep groove out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm knocking out in the middle of the daytime, just sitting on the couch on the bus, and here he comes. Hey, I need, I'm barely just got 45 minutes in, and he's coming waking me up. So I'm like, ugh. I'm giving it to him all the way back to the dressing room, and then one day I go, man, how many more of these do I gotta sign? And he says, this is it. This is the last for the tour. You're not going to do any more. The next day, he shows up with another stack.
With another 150.
Yeah.
You need to come up with
It wasn't my fault.
You need to come up with the Sindog stamp.
Yep, that's what we're getting those made as we speak. Stamp.
There is
No.
Your job just got easier.
Now you got me. All right, next.
We got Waxing Fantastic saying, at DesignerCon, where I met and had a great conversation with the one and only Javi Lopez.
Yeah, Javi Lopez was up there. The rolling champ Pedro was up there too. He kind of looks like Pedro, don't he?
I was about to say that,
He
man.
looks like Dro's cousin, Mo.
I like your style, dude.
Pedro and Paymo. All right.
He's also saying he saw this piece at DesignerCon.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Pedro brought that piece back here, and I signed it yesterday.
Awesome.
Madways was out there too. I was with Madways, and he copped that piece, the little Dr. Greenthumb piece.
Salute to Mad Ways, my.
We got Mr. Kel's World saying, yo, big salute to Psycho Leezy.
Doubt. Prendelo.
Prendelo.
Salute.
Excellent.
Rocky. Smoke that. Smoke that.
Smoke.
And we got Kay Yazzie smoking on this Dr. Greenthumb, she's saying. This is a sativa. Can anyone recognize this?
Bring it.
It looks like a mini Christmas tree.
Excellent.
Did you recognize?
Who, me? I don't got my glasses on, man.
Oh, I don't know this. I don't know the strain.
That's
catalog.
probably one of. I mean, it's a sativa, so it's probably like one of those super silvers or something like that.
I don't know. That doesn't look like a haze to me.
Pretty frosty.
I don't know.
It's by that.
It's a lighter, so it's definitely more sativa leaning hybrid, but.
It looked frosty like some Mac to me.
Nah.
Nah.
That wasn't no Mac.
We got Jason up in here saying he's chilling watching Zohan. Zohan?
Yeah, Zohan.
It's a good one.
And this is pretty good. We got Terry Sucks up in here. Terry Sucks is saying the Dr. Greenthumb Show Funko Pop Edition. He's saying thank you guys for putting content out every day.
Word up, man. Salute. Thanks for receiving it. We appreciate you.
He's saying, welcome to the Dr. Greenthumb Show Funko Pop Edition. We brought in Smokey the Bear security for this all-star crew. Snoop Dogg sitting in the good light, holding down the portal is the champ. The country king, Willie Nelson, is ready to blaze. And Snow White and the 700 Millies. Sleepy Zone is looking high and hungry.
Sleepy Zone. Nice.
Wow.
He's saying, filling in for the Treehouse crew, we got Spicoli, Towley, and Otto Man.
Awesome. Spicoli. They made a Spicoli.
This guy definitely smokes weed.
They all three.
You think so, huh?
He's also saying, and don't forget, keep looking out in the nest is Snacks with the big beak. Chopping it up with Rick James.
Rick James look crazy.
They doing coke together up there.
I don't do drugs.
Shout out to Terry Sucks. We got a Karina up in here saying Christmas on the green. She's saying a job at a golf shop she had to put together.
Tight. There he goes on the bottom like a gift.
And then she's saying this is a Christmas sweater for Sendog.
Bring it.
He needs large though.
Extra large.
Extra large, even.
Yeah,
okay.
Karina's also saying good vibes at work today. Got to catch up with Eddie B. Swift.
Oh, he killed the mix this morning. Salute to Eddie B. Swift. You can check him out mornings, early in the morning here on BREALTV too. Check him out. The Mind Trip Morning Show. All right.
We got STL up in here saying, be real. You should do a song with Wheeler Walker Jr.
All right.
He's a funny country artist.
Okay. Well, hell yeah.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Uncle P.
Hey, you watch yourself. Don't you be spouting out my line there.
Billy Ray Cypress right there.
On occasion. All right.
And we got Smokestack Mac up in here. He's saying, yo, big happy birthday to Roscoe. He just turned 9.
All right, Roscoe.
Roscoe. Pito.
Got his pup photos and the whole shot.
Awesome.
Did you do that with your dog, Send Dog? Did you take pup photos and photos throughout?
Probably not.
You did. So you don't have a family album with the dog?
No, I don't even think I have a picture of most of the pets that I've had. Much less a photo album.
Dogs hate that, man. The costumes.
Right?
You think dogs hate that?
I know they hate it.
Sen, what's the latest little dog you got? That little tiny thing, the little tiny one. What is it?
The teacup Pomeranian.
Oh,
Wow.
boy. I could never imagine that.
But let me tell you, the greatest thing ever is the dog loves Sen, and that little dog just follows Sen around. A dog, and you know what? Sen likes the little dog
because
too.
the dog knows this Send Dog is a dog person. You know what I'm saying?
Body smells.
He's dog
the
people.
It's clockwork. Every morning at like 8 a.m., you could just hear the little tiny bark. Oh, time to get up. The dog needs to go outside or something, but
You're the one, huh?
it don't weigh but 5 or 6 pounds, a little tiny thing.
Wow.
Is this what you're talking about? Something like this?
Yeah, something like that.
How did that little dog not warm your heart, son?
Oh my God.
I can imagine Trace walking that down the street.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
You should bring that on tour with you.
You could bring a little dog like that on tour. It wouldn't be as...
You guys are getting carried away with all this, man. Like,
Me?
we're
I didn't say
bringing the dog on tour. And shit.
Yeah, no, I don't
Great
want to bring
idea.
it. No, I don't want to bring no dog on tour ever, man.
No dog.
Don't even try it. I will stop you at all costs. Next.
And we got Smokestack Mac. He's smoking on some glitter bomb.
Okay.
Smoke.
Glitter bomb.
I know.
And we got Kid up in here saying the sugar-free interview was awesome on BREALTV, and this album is full on pimp.
Sugar-free and cocaine. Sugar canes. That's
the new album?
Yep.
That's the new album?
I think that's their new deal. The one he was talking about when he was here.
Okay.
Yep. Salute to both these bros.
We got Javi G up in here saying just jamming to some Booyah Tribe, and he's saying rest in peace to Rid and Godfather and Monster O.
Yeah. Rest in peace to the bros.
Yeah.
Sen, would you say they were like the first to like mix the metal with the hip hop, like actually like on their record and their live show? Were they before Rage?
No. I think they were pre-Rage, but I think the first was that when I heard metal and rap together was Public Enemy and Anthrax when they did Bring the Noise. That was the earliest.
Crazy, yeah.
Because the Run DMC stuff that had happened in the mid-'80s was more like rock bass.
Yeah, that was rock bass.
Rock riff. And then,
Yeah, I guess you're right. But
Yeah.
Public Enemy with Anthrax.
Yeah, but definitely out here in the West Coast, for sure. Well, OMB was a big time bass player.
Yeah.
He had all kind of different likings in music, and metal was one of them. And I wasn't surprised when they did their thing. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah,
Nobody was.
They
doing
were
that.
different. They were different as heck. From appearance to personality, they were to the left of everybody else. So I wouldn't have expected anything different from him.
Yeah. Word up. Next.
And we got Michelle up in here saying, "Yo, B, I was able to share the show on my Facebook."
Wow.
Awesome.
I know some people were having troubles with that the other day.
Yeah. Well, maybe they switched the policy back. I don't know. I haven't tried since the time they shut it down, like 5 times, 6 times. So I didn't put no links on Facebook.
We got John Miller, and John Miller saying, "Yo, shout to the Greenthumb show and the 5150s for getting back-to-back songs on Friday. This is me rocking the Cypress shirt while A to the K was playing. Shout to Cypress and B at the table."
Run it, son. All right. You all right over there?
No, I just couldn't show that one submission that just popped up.
Why? What happened?
No, we'll do it a different time.
Okay, cool. All right.
We got Charlie, Sasha, and family saying, "Yo, big shout out to C-. This December 15th mix was the best I've ever heard. Straight up grooving. Shout to the mix show."
Salute to C-.
Look at them dogs down there.
Dog's like, I want to be in the picture too.
How you doing?
We got Javi G representing Cypress Hill, and he's also saying Feliz Navidad putos.
Yeah. All right. We'll accept that from you, Bolton.
Putos.
That toes is a little bit much, though.
And the last one so far, we got Jason up in here saying Willie Nelson's 90th birthday celebration.
Look at that.
Yeah.
90 years strong. Bang, bang!
To all the girls I loved before.
And all the joints he smoked before, too. That's he's up there with Woody Harrelson. They're really good friends. They do a lot of stuff together.
He's also really dope for his advocacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he say he quit, though? Oh, he took a break?
Well, he took a break for a time, but I think he's smoking now. But Willie, I think he just does edibles now at this point. But he's represented for many years. I would imagine because some of the flower is just way stronger than the stuff he had been accustomed to smoking.
Yeah, there's a market for mids.
Yeah.
There definitely is. During Thanksgiving, I was up at my family's for the holiday, and my uncle, he loves his Northern Light 6, which is like a staple up in Northern Cali. It's just what it used to be known as skunk weed. And that's what he likes to smoke. But I brought him some Kush. You know, I went up there and I split his wig. And my aunt came up to me later and was like, Trace, you
have to leave now.
Yeah, no, you cannot be smoking what you're smoking with your uncle. He just came in and said his heart's racing and he's ready to have a heart attack.
He felt like I felt on the airplane. Next.
No.
Oh, that seems to be it.
That seems to be it. All right. Thank you for your submissions. Keep them coming to BREALTV contest at gmail.com, and we will put them on. And once again, smash that like if you haven't. I'm watching you. And subscribe if you're not subscribing. Word up. So let me ask you this about the podcast. Like, how can I put it? Do you guys smoke freely while you're doing the podcast, or are you keeping it like clean doing
We are
it?
keeping it clean for now. Advertisers don't want to work with you when you're consuming on screen.
Right.
And our intention, because we're educating and having fun, our intention is to kind of break through. So we understand that we've got to take some L's. But if we have certain people that come through, we're not going to be able to tell them no, and that's
Right.
okay. So we accept that. But right now we are consuming before with the guests. We
Yeah.
take a break, and then after.
More like BTS
Yeah.
footage, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
because YouTube and all these platforms like Facebook and
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, they discriminate against cannabis counts like crazy.
Yeah.
And you know, there's this thing called content distribution that relates to all these platforms. If you violate their community standards, which is, you know, what they equate it to, like if we're, you know, talking about cannabis, that we're trying to sell cannabis
Right.
in the conversation. So boom, you get the yellow flag,
Mm-hmm.
and violates the community standard and all that stuff.
Yep.
And then they take away monetization, or they take half of it from you.
Damn.
And that's what they do to cannabis accounts. So I could understand why you guys want to keep it clean, so that that your content distribution isn't, disrupted,
Stifled.
Yeah.
With weed stuff, you're going to be discriminated against. And I've lost my Instagram account like 12 times in total.
Yeah, I can't even post a cannabis related post without catching strike now.
Yeah, my account is severely shadow banned. Like, the only way you're going to see me is if people share my content. If it doesn't get shared, Instagram's not showing it to anybody. So I've kind of had to accept defeat there. And, just hope the podcast can do this. I'm also expanding beyond cannabis, so I won't be forward like I smoke, but it'll be also part of my brand and my identity. So I hope to just kind of spread my wings and always like be a pothead. I don't feel like there's a lot of women in media or in anything who are potheads. We had Rihanna, but she's like having babies and off doing other things. So we don't really have any female representation. It's like all the men are the stoners, but we smoke a lot of weed. We have more receptors than y'all.
Yeah. We say this a lot, that it seems like women could do more of the concentrates than guys. Like, you guys got a higher tolerance, higher capacity for it.
Yeah, well, that one, but also so you have these receptors that bind to THC, and then that's how you feel high. But women have a uterus, and on the uterus you have a lot of receptors. So we're feeling that relief there. That's an organ that doctors cannot figure out for nothing, the uterus. So it's deeply connected to this plant and deeply connected to our relief. We're used to being sick once a month for 40 years. We deal with pain and uncomfortable, but this plant unlocks something for us as mothers, as women, as teachers, as nurturers. Like, it is deeply ingrained with the woman. These flowers that we're consuming are feminine flowers. Like, I truly believe that there is a connection there. We're both giving life and nurturing and providing. So I think, and then it's offensive. You go to dispensaries, things that are marketed to women, it's like low THC, mid-grade flower. Like, give me the best thing in here smoking. Don't tell me the stats. I don't care about the percentage. What's it smell like? How fresh is it?
Just give me the gas.
Yeah, give me that. And that's how I kind of navigate. But it's like the stuff catered to women is just, it's offensive at this point.
Yeah, there needs to be more education, obviously.
Right.
And I think that we'll get there at some point.
Yeah.
It's just, there just needs to be more people advocating in this way, and
yeah, for sure.
And letting people know, yes, there's many women that are in the dispensaries, getting flower concentrates, and all the rest.
Yeah.
But realistically, what you see going off the shelf is the concentrates. Y'all take.
We have purple proxies.
Oh my God.
They're so cute. We love it. It's amazing. And most of the things that we buy have naked girls on the Mylar bags, or they're hypersexualized for men.
Right.
But it's good product that we like. So
yeah. What do you feel like would be a good representation on, let's just say, a bag to market towards women?
Oh man, I have one answer that is very offensive, but I mean, whatever your brand identity is, stick with it. Some of that stuff is fly. If they're using really good art, and I can kind of see the direction that they're going. Some of it's corny. It is what it is, but I think you also have to stand out with that bag.
Yeah.
But I don't always need a pair of titties for a Mylar bag,
Yeah. No, I agree. That it is a bit much.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Word up. We're about to open up the doors to the insane asylum. That means y'all got a comment, question, shout out, suggestion. We're here for it.
Welcome to the insane asylum.
Let's do this.
All right, let's do this. We got Midget Mike up in here asking, Cannabis Cutie, how good does your lasagna come out, and are you a fan of garlic bread?
Oh my gosh, so good. When I make my sauce, I do it all day long. And then it tastes better the next day. And I really love garlic bread. Me and my friend just made some bread a couple weeks ago, a loaf. like that one. So I love them all. Love it all. Homemade, everything.
So you make you make the sauce the day before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll make it all together. Sometimes I'll assemble it and then bake it the next day. But I definitely want the sauce and the flavors to come together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
We got Stars up in here asking the table, is vaping CBD as effective as taking it orally?
I'm going to say probably taking it orally. But I don't know if there's any studies on that.
I mean, you're going to have two different effects. When you vape it, you get immediate effects versus orally, it could be anywhere from 30 minutes to a few hours to get the effects. So it just depends on what you need it for. If you're looking for immediate relief, inhalation methods are always going to be the best. That's why they give it to asthmatics, inhalation methods, inhalers. But if you're looking for maybe just like some relief because you're not feeling too good, you're achy, oral method might be the better route. Take it through the gut. That's where your immune system lives.
Hey, B, I hope there's not going to be a test like later on today on all these terms she's been using today. 'Cause, like, me and Sen are going to fail.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you right now. Right, Sen?
Well, you haven't been taking notes.
You're going to fail. I've been paying attention.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Don't act like you.
Yeah, that thing she just said right now about the other thing.
Yeah, she's over here, and I'm over here like looking at her going, yeah. All right.
I have some ebooks that are like the 101 with all the terms, or a podcast episode.
See, Les he's playing it smart. He's just being quiet over there.
Or
Taking it in.
Or people watching could timestamp the parts and just send them to you. So they get in the know.
Thanks.
The now and the know.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, we got the Pope in the super chat. He's saying, got accepted to grad school at University of Iowa, and I'm seeking a pardon of my past felonies. That's what he's saying. And he's also saying, do you think Tim Dog is still alive? There seems to be some weight to this one. A lot of cops believe it, and Cool Keith believes it as well.
Well, congratulations on the first thing.
Yeah.
And because that's a big deal. And in terms of Tim Dog, you never know. Because, he got caught out there faking his own death, the first time. So, it might be that he's still out there. I mean, one could never really know.
I'm going to say yeah.
You think he's still out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Sendog. He's probably still out there. So.
Oh my God.
We got Utah Hawk right after the real Pope. He's saying, is this the real Pope? Why not just ask God? That's what he's saying in the super chat.
All right.
And we got Jay Dank saying, yo, let's get higher today with BREALTV.
That's right. We got that higher popping off right here. Boom, waiting for you at the end of the show. One of you lucky peoples will have it. And just so you know, look, okay, so some of you guys might be saying, what is the higher? It's what we use with our concentrates. This is the end. You put the concentrates in, boom. Charge cord. It goes to this battery here. And it's one of the best
how do you smoke that?
Devices that you can use. We use it on our Stundin glass. We just got the module, but previously we were using the higher. Yes. So if you like doing concentrates, the higher is one of the best devices for this.
Excellent.
Yeah. So this is a little video on how you would navigate it. And it fits on most rigs because it's got an adapter piece on the bottom of it so that you could attach it to different style rigs and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Word up.
We got Midget Mike asking Cannabis Cutie, name a rapper who gets no airplay in your car.
He asked this of everybody.
Wow. A rapper that gets no airplay in my car?
It's an interesting question. He's always asked.
Yeah.
He's asked all of us.
Tory Lanez.
Okay. Boom. That's the second honest answer that we've had.
Yep.
Because most people be trying to dodge around it. That's awesome. All right.
We got OG Tone 13 saying, my DJ MS5 won't recognize my MacBook when I plug it in. It's supposed to come with Serato Pro. Any suggestions for an up-and-coming DJ?
Repeat that.
He's saying my DJ MS5 won't recognize my MacBook when I plug it in. It's supposed to come with Serato Pro. Any suggestions?
Look it up on YouTube. Probably has some instructions there on it.
Yeah, you could download these drivers when you look up the whatever the mixer is and just download the driver and you'll be all right.
It probably is a driver. Pretty much. Update.
That's all it is. Yeah.
And shout to Evan Smith. Thank you so much for your super chat. And we got Big 40 saying, screaming, what up to the almighty Cypress Hill all the way from San Diego.
Salute to you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
How you doing?
And we got Karina saying, hi, fam. Have y'all been to any hemp museums? She's saying Amsterdam is obvious, but there's also one in Barcelona, which I personally enjoyed more. It's very informative.
I don't remember going to the one in Barcelona, but now that you said it,
I mean,
make sure I go.
The best thing I ever been to was in Amsterdam, the weed college.
Mm-hmm.
Into that. That's
Amsterdam.
dope.
Amsterdam?
Huh?
Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah, and it's like a whole bunch of stuff. They give a little presentation and smoke out in there. Nice.
Educating the tourists.
Yeah.
We got Shane B saying, can't stay until the end, but if I win, give it to Senor Smoker in the Twitch Ward. Happy holidays to everybody.
All right.
We got a Yunk Monk saying, edibles have never worked for me, and no matter how much I take, I can't get high. Only tree and concentrates work. You guys know why.
Back to that like system of inside your body that makes weed. We don't know. We know everybody has different ones. So some might be really sensitive and then others might not have any effect. We don't know if that's because of the way that your liver is breaking things down. Do you have enough receptors in your body to communicate with the THC so they can make love and you feel high? We don't know yet. This was like a discovery in the 90s. So we're still at the early beginnings, but it's like the biggest discovery of our lifetime, the system in our body. So
What's the name of that part of your system?
the endocannabinoid system. So endo means inside and then cannabinoid.
Get that, Sen?
Next verse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the next verse.
Endocannabinoid system.
Yeah,
there you go.
endocannabinoid system.
Impressive.
He said, okay. Yeah, he's taking mental notes now. Huh?
That satisfy your fucking your inquiry?
Just checking.
Professor Sendog. And we got the Pope back up in here asking, can I get sent to perform the Chicken Huntin' line?
Settle down.
What the hell is that?
I think it's a song by Insane Clown Posse.
Oh.
Did you do a song with them?
No, not that I remember.
I don't remember that neither.
We need more information on that.
All right, Pope, little more information there.
Yeah, what is that?
And we got Cop up in here saying, I ate 6 brownies and saw myself on a UFO.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Nice one.
Again, some folks are different. Some people would totally get hit by those edibles.
Shout out to Megan. Thank you so much for your super chat. And we got One Happy Mama asking everyone's favorite Christmas movie to watch. What is it?
Beat Street.
Gremlins.
All right.
Harry Potter.
Christmas Vacation.
Football.
Yeah.
Good answer, whoever said that.
Great.
I don't have one of those favorite movies.
Football.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's football on Christmas.
There
now,
is, yeah,
So
there is.
that's crazy. It used to be NBA only.
Yeah.
Football
Yeah.
is on TV now on Christmas.
I mean,
so
yeah.
We'll take that answer.
All right. There you go.
Yeah.
I channeled that for you. You know what I'm saying? All right.
And we got Lit Dad Broski in the super chat saying, yo, shout to the Brosha. What up to Send Dog?
What up, man? Chilling. Tuesday. So good to see everybody.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We got Midget Mike up in here saying, did you know Cannabis Cutie likes to talk about aliens? Is that true? You talk about aliens on the podcast.
I have, yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like
Never.
in the sky that you've?
Oh, yeah. I've definitely seen things in the sky that have had me questioning what was that. And then, of course, they're like, it's Elon Musk.
It
And
ain't
I'm
always
like,
Elon.
I don't think so.
It's not
Yeah.
always Elon Musk. He ain't
Yeah.
the only one in space
Yeah.
or in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
No, we
Yeah.
know that.
It's the Russians.
Yeah, but I do talk about aliens.
China.
Yeah, no, we talk about it from time to time because we've seen some things here and there.
I mean, I think they're absolutely here, but I'm like, how come I can't get picked? Like
to see them?
To go.
Oh, to go.
Bring it.
Beam me up. I want to see some cool things.
So let me see.
Just send me back.
Should have E-Zone here today.
Yeah.
Some experiments on you.
No, don't do that. I just want to go on a field trip, and then I can come back.
So I just want to, say hello and then dip back.
And if you can have me home by dinner, that would be great.
Even if you got to wipe my mind, just, All right.
And we got Positive J saying B, Chicago-style pizza is thin crust cut in squares.
Oh, is it?
Why did I
Okay.
think it was like a pie.
A lot of us,
Or is
because
that Detroit pizza?
they market it to us like it's deep dish. Chicago deep dish.
I thought I had pizza in Chicago that was like a pie.
Yeah, Giordano's out there is like,
Yeah.
it's like 4 inches thick of Bisquick.
But they probably got, they Chicago, Chicago thin crust too.
Okay.
Okay, y'all got thin.
Okay.
We just know y'all for having thick. That's all.
That's what we know. Deep.
Facts.
And next up in here, we got Seth Howard saying, y'all are the best. Stoked to tune in today. And we got Ryan saying Cypress Hill playing Red Rocks this summer.
Yep, that's what they said.
Rocks.
We shall be there. That's a good place to do mushrooms.
Bring it.
Red Rocks. Have you done mushrooms? Do you do mushrooms?
I love mushrooms.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Anything from the earth.
There you go.
See, that's another big thing that I've noticed is popular with the ladies is microdosing with mushrooms.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely coming on stronger, I think, than the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah. You get a lot
Why do you think that is?
I think women are just more open to new experiences. I think that's just culturally and socially we're allowed to do new things. And with men, men always have to deal with like, is this gay? Or, all kind of other stupid stuff. I'm not a man. I have a twin brother. So I know that how we navigate the world is differently. But women are just more open to doing things.
Little ecstasy,
Well, just even in dealing with what might be in here. I mean, like sometimes if we're thinking about too many crazy things, it's not good for us to do mushrooms where women can deal with that.
Yeah.
And still, go through their trip.
Yeah, without any stigma either. Like we can cry and curl up into a ball and it's okay, but I don't know if a man wants to like put himself out there.
Imagine we get in full melt and Tracy Eddy is over there in the corner crying and we're just like tripping balls.
Quit looking at me. Quit looking at me.
Why are you looking at me? Don't look at me.
And we got Marcel up in here saying, hey, yo, salute to the whole table, giving the Psycho Lazy squeeze.
Squeeze.
And we got Space High asking, yo, when is Son Doobie coming back?
Bring it.
Probably next week or this week. I don't know.
He was doing shows last week, didn't he?
Yeah, I think
We got Hybrid Cypher saying, great to see you on the show. Trace, Sendog, and Psycho Lazy.
Great being here. Love Tuesdays.
Thank you.
Cheers.
We got Jason O saying, remembering how the cops would be looking to bust your ass for weed back in the day, and now I have to laugh whenever I see police directing traffic towards dispensaries. Times have changed.
Yeah. Some of them cops are smoking weed. They don't go to the dispensaries where they patrol around because they don't want people judging them, but yeah.
I know a lot of them need to.
A lot of cops back in the days used to take the weed from you. And I even had one made me empty it out down the sewer.
Well, now they got to go to a dispensary. They can't just take your weed no more unless you were, smoking while driving. Then possibly.
Back then, though.
Back then, yeah, they'd totally confiscate it and smoke it up
and smoke it or sell it,
or make you destroy it right there in front of them if they were like square peg.
Mm-hmm.
Went through that many a times. Okay, what are we gonna do with this weed? What do you mean, what are we going to do with this weed?
Smoke.
Well, if you don't want to go to jail, you got to destroy this. I'm like, well, how am I going to do that?
Oh.
So you're going to have to throw it right here in the street and smash it with your feet. I'm like,
grind it into the concrete.
That's the worst.
I had the greenest shoe bottoms the city had ever known.
I could see Be Real now with little tear coming down.
Yeah. Yeah. But my feet smell like some good weed. Well, my shoes, let's just say that.
Excellent.
I didn't have my do it with my bare feet. That'd be an
I
exaggeration.
just copped this right now, man.
I just got that happened to Everlasting myself. We were rolling and he was driving, and this is why, when we hang out, I drive because he drives too fast and crazy and reckless. We got pulled over. And we had just got the last bag from our homie who had like the fire at that time, right? And man, cop pulls us out of the car. He finds Everlast's piece. They confiscate that. Then they find the weed, and they're like, "Okay, what are we gonna do with this?" Like, well, what?
I was hoping you'd let me take it home.
No. He made us destroy it, smash it up. Take off. But he didn't take us to jail, and he didn't fine us, which was crazy because, he was an older cop, and we thought, from the experiences we've had before, older cops ready to cuff you and put you in that car for the gun, even if it's registered to you, they want to make sure, so they're gonna take your ass in, and and for the weed most especially. But no, they let us go. I think they might have recognized one of us, if not both of us. One of the younger cops probably told them, "Hey, these guys are," and so he let us off with the damn warning.
They're professional pot smokers. Let them go.
Yeah, well, we lost the weed that day because we knew we couldn't get any more of that right there. It was that we had the last bag.
That's the worst.
That was the worst.
The worst.
But it could have been worse. He could have took us both to jail. All right, next.
We got Hanson saying, shout to my brother Eddie G, a.k.a. Treasy. And we got Dan in the super chat asking, anyone at the table ever done salvia? He's saying it's trippy stuff.
Hell no.
Nope. Lost
Saw
me.
the YouTube videos. That
Have
was
not.
all I needed.
Have not, will not.
And we got El Grito Kid saying, hey, Foos, Cannabis Cutie, I have recently quit weed because it makes me anxious. You guys have any recs for how to get stoned with no anxiety?
I think you got to, maybe ask for some low-grade cannabis.
I think you should ditch the citrus weed. There's a subset of us that we smoke cannabis that smells citrusy, like oranges or lemons, and you have a really bad reaction. Heart races, anxiety, just not a fun experience. And once I removed citrus cannabis from my life, that stopped happening completely. And then also, you got to be setting your intention. We know whenever we're using mushrooms to make sure that we're in a good, safe environment so that we have a good experience. And people don't take that same precaution with weed, and they should.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about that job that makes you anxious and you spark up, you just kind of expanded what you were already feeling. So you really have to kind of set your intentionality when you're using the cannabis plant too. So work on intention, avoid citrus weed, and then see what happens.
Especially on your first time.
Yeah.
Definitely set an intention and don't try and do too much.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask questions. Like if you're going into the dispensary, there's no shame in asking a bud tender questions.
Right.
Because most people get intimidated when they get up there. Oh, what's...
Yeah, I mean...
Tell me. And the bud tender's like going to give you gas off top.
Yeah, no, it's like going to the pharmacy. You tell them your ailments, and they could probably suggest something for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ask questions, y'all.
Yeah.
All right.
And we got Marbell up in here saying, less crippin' and dippin' today. Imagine Sendog with a Jerry curl in 1994. He's saying Colton is built like a joint without the weed in it.
Oh, he's flashed off on you, son.
His date and timing is all wrong because 94, nobody was rocking a Jerry curl. Not that I ever had one, but it wouldn't be 94.
No.
There might have been a picture of you with a Jerry curl out there, son, dog.
Nonsense,
Don't be trying to
dude.
front.
No, I doubt
Don't be trying
it.
to front, dog.
I know there's a picture of you with a Jerry curl.
Hey, I will own that all day. I will own that all day.
Yeah.
It was a fresh ass Jerry curl.
It was long to the back. A long ass Jerry curl. That was the style.
We got the Pope up in here again saying, I'm talking about the line from Cock the Hammer.
Yeah. I'm a chicken hawk hunting for a chicken. That's what he was hoping you would do.
Oh, all right. Well, he didn't say it like that.
He didn't say it like that. He said chicken hunting.
I'm like,
Or maybe Bolton read it wrong
No,
in
I
the
read
first
it.
place.
He said, "Can I get Sendog to perform the chicken hunting line?"
Bolton.
Oh, he wants that line? I'm a chicken hawk hunting for a chicken. Get paranoid when you hear my Glock clicking. There it goes.
All right, that was like easy. I thought you were going to say, next week, son.
He wanted the line. It's easier now.
We got Braggy B saying, "Just finished my Christmas shopping," and he's saying, "Shipping here late. Peace to the table."
Peace.
Peace, brother.
Much love.
And we got Juan up in here saying, "Smoking one and listening to y'all. Show some love from the dirty South."
Salute to y'all watching from the dirty South.
And we got George saying, "Big Christmas Day game, 49ers versus the Ravens. Who's going to win?"
49ers, probably.
Niners.
Yeah.
I got Niners on that one.
Yeah, they're having the season. And I know Tracy Eddy over there is loving that.
And it's in California, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, their Niners are at home.
Your Raiders killed it the other night
Luckily.
Yeah.
versus the Chargers.
let's not get too excited about that.
I mean, it's the Chargers.
They got a new coach.
Yeah, they just fired the coach. I was wondering when. I mean, like, they should have did it last year. Like, come on, man.
That was tough to watch.
Yeah, I mean, he's, they got players, but he got a failed system. They should have let him go last year.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
We got Megan saying, "One time a cop took my weed and said, 'Hope it's good.'"
Yeah.
That's insult to injury. That's That's good.
It is good.
Asshole.
Well played. Well played.
Yeah. I would have got a laugh out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to say?
I would have told him it's absolutely good.
Enjoy, sir.
It's incredible.
I hope you choke on it.
I hope you get so high you never get high again.
And we got Michelle saying, "Hi, Cannabis Cutie. Are you looking to educate other countries in person by doing seminars or conventions?"
Yeah, absolutely. That's been on the plan for years. I have a lot of connections overseas, but I also have 2 children. One is a preteen, one is a kid. So I'm just really busy. Whenever I can find time, I will. But it's not happening yet.
Motherhood is the one of the hardest jobs of all, right?
Yeah, it's my main priority. So I look at women who can like just work and be away from home. I can't do it. As much like as big of a game as I talk, like I cannot be away from my kids for too long.
That's a hard one.
Yeah. Well, unless they're with family.
I hear that.
Then when they're with their cousins and stuff, it's easy because I know they're good.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So soon, hopefully.
We got Shadow Sombra asking, "No more sad bud stories. Any stories about finding a stash?"
Finding a stash.
Yeah, I came up.
I've never really found.
Look at Les. Less than I came up.
I've probably been reintroduced to my own stash that I forgot about somewhere, and like, but never like found someone else's now.
I came up one time in Canada. We was about to go inside this club, and then we was all standing outside the club, and I just wanted to see like the sign, so I walked back. I started stepping back, and then I stepped on something. I looked, a whole ounce of weed. So I picked it up. Boom, got to the club. I pulled that out. We all start smoking. Everybody's like, "Where you get that from?" I was like, "Nah, don't worry about it." Yeah.
Good move.
I stumbled on it.
Yo, a whole ounce. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I thought about, damn, should I be
Whoever lost
smoking
that
this?
was pissed off.
I was like, yeah, somebody just dropped this.
And Shadow Sombra saying, "Also, I love the citrus bud and shout to the people in the Twitch ward."
Salute to the Twitch ward and the Discord.
We got Bud Rich saying, "Yeah, I have asthma. I'm done with the blunts, joints, and bongs, and Puffco Peak and the Proxy are for me."
There you go.
Nice, good choices.
That volcano thing, I've been on that for about 2 weeks now.
Mm.
The volcano, I'm a believer in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the volcano's good.
Yeah, man. real easy on the lungs.
Let me ask you this: do you like the bigger bags like Steph Tone does, or do you like the shorter bags?
I'll be honest with you, and the difference is 18 inch is the standard bag. I like the standard bag versus Steph with the 36.
He got the 36.
It's a 36, and it's 18 is perfect because to me it's like about a double dose of a bong rip. You know what I mean? So it's because to me it's not like tugging on it like a joint. That's not what I'm getting off of this bag. I like the bag. It's almost like a real easy bong rip, but super clean taste. That's what I like about it. No carcinogens, no smoke, nothing like that. So it's super gentle on the lungs.
Yeah.
I'm a believer.
How about you? You do the volcano?
I do have a volcano. Yeah. I feel like that's a stoner rite of passage. Like you have to have your time with it.
Yeah.
And then you can also reuse the flower and make edibles with it.
I was going to ask you about that because we had the conversation. So you can make edibles out of it. Also, they said that it would be like great to put into your like flower beds and stuff like that. That it's good as a vitamin, and then it also would keep bugs off of like marijuana plants.
Yeah, I mean, cannabis has a natural pest repellent for certain pests, so it can work as that. But it also attracts some other ones. So.
Oh yeah, some really bad ones, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I don't know.
But I have like here at the studio. Did you see that container?
Was that like?
That's what that's all from. Is from the
yeah.
volcano.
Yeah, I think
use that to cook.
C- uses that to cook and bake.
Yeah.
I'd like to taste some edibles from that.
Boom, there it is.
Yeah, so you get double bang for your buck.
Nice.
You could smoke it too.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, back in the days when I would be thirsty for some and I had some vapor, best believe we was rolling that up like fuck it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Because it seems like
that's the poor days,
Because it tastes like popcorn.
Yeah, it looks like it's already been
popcorn.
stripped. You know what I mean? Like it's stripped clean.
Nah, but you know what? Some of that doesn't get all burned up and it's still green.
No, it doesn't.
So
some of it is
still green. So
yeah, the temperature matters too. So if you're not burning it, it should still have some life left.
Yeah.
I do like a 7.
We do 6 over here.
Yeah.
You're burning hot.
I like a little dark roast. You know what I mean? Like my coffee.
Yeah, okay.
A little darker roast.
Dark roast, all right. All right, what else you got?
We got Bomb Ben saying, shout to Trace and Sendog, who I drove from Quebec to Montreal last summer. Highlight of my summer.
He drove y'all from Montreal to Quebec.
Oh, you know who that is, Sen?
The guy that drove us in that rainstorm.
Yes.
Word.
B, you remember we were in that castle? You guys took off to LA and Sen and I could only get a flight and we had to.
Yeah, you had to drive that crazy ass drive.
Yeah, man, this is the driver.
Hey.
Nice.
Yeah,
What's up, brother?
Yeah, man. Big up, bro.
Hey, he made it happen for us because it was coming close.
Oh, traveling.
And we got Dan saying, yo, B.
Yeah.
I was just listening to your verse on Outkast Explosion. It's very dope. How was it working with them?
I was surprised when I got the call from them to get on the track, to be honest with you. I've always been a fan of theirs, and, so it was an honor to get on. And they made it easy. It was a dope track. Very hip-hop, up-tempo type of joint. And I was pissed off, as you could hear in that verse, with 2 magazines at that point, and I referenced them. You already know it because you heard the verse, but it was cool working with those guys, man, and salute to them. Hopefully, at some point, they get back together and pop another album off.
Bring the flute along.
Yeah, bring the flute too.
You had to mention the flute.
Come on, B.
There's nothing wrong with the flute, man.
Nothing wrong with the flute.
That's the flute, man.
But that's
right
what
now.
he said.
Yeah, I know. I sense a little sarcasm.
No, he could sample it. All right.
That's my dude. That's my dude.
And we got Edgar saying, B, you should bring back all of the classic strains.
Ooh, if we had the phenomes, we definitely would. And the genetics would definitely pop them off. Some of them are, easy enough to find, but not everything. Some of that stuff is gone.
You should make some for all the legends, like Dennis Perone, Harvey Milk, a new Jack Hare. You should do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about doing the Jack.
Yeah.
But, sort of got to get approval from the
get
family
the
first.
blessings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that'd be a good idea, though. Tribute like the legends who were the first educators or our first educators. All right.
And the last one so far, we got Jose saying, I don't do podcasts, but I mess with the Dr. Greenthumb show.
Hey, well, all right. Thank you for that. Word up, man. Salute to all y'all for the interaction, the engagement, and for the love and support. We appreciate y'all. We do this with you, as you know. So respect to all y'all. And much love to Tammy for coming on and sitting in with us. Make sure you check out the podcast with Tammy and Exhibit. And let them know what it's called again.
The Lasagna Ganja podcast, where we look at all the layers of the cannabis industry. There's actually no lasagna involved.
No lasagna. No lasagna. Still a good name for a podcast. I'll tell you that. You got any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, to the whole Lasagna Ganja podcast team, to Shirley for bringing me in to meet you and do all of this, to everyone here today. Yeah.
Right on. Easy. How about you?
Yo, I want to shout out everybody on the chat hanging out with us, the whole crew, Dr. Greenthumb, Tammy for coming through. If you're checking for the Psycho Less merch, holiday shopping, go to thepsycholessshop.com. And if you're on that IG, follow me at Psycho Less Official and also Psycho Less Beats and Beer. Get ready for the mix. It's Tuesday, too.
Bolted.
Shout the Insane Asylum. Thank you guys so much. Shout to Ray Morning Shot Films. Shout to the Dominator. And I was going to say, B, you want to do the giveaway right now?
Let's do it.
All right. So we got 67 entries here. We'll spin the wheel.
For the G-Pen hire. Infinite Blessings.
Wow, what a cool name.
Congratulations to Infinite Blessings. You just won yourself a G-Pen hire.
Nice.
Send your information to brealtvcontest@gmail.com and we will send you the G-Pen hire. Salute to you. Congratulations.
What's up, Trace?
Everybody sitting around the table today. Love coming in on Tuesdays and hanging out with you guys. All you guys up there behind the control board, everybody out here in the front office here at BREALTV Studios. Big shout out to Instagram followers. You can follow me on Instagram at Trace Nunes. Real simple. And Send Dog, what's happening?
I was going to say something, but obviously I'm going to go with this. Shout out to Captain Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's recovering after breaking his hip and having surgery. So shout out to the captain, and man, well wishes to him.
Yeah.
Stay open enough to receive information and then do your own diligence on it to see whether it's real bullshit. Swallow that.
BREALTV.